world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. Now, I totally disagree with the way things are going, but you can't be angry because that's what the enemy wants. He wants to control you. They do things to make you mad so they can control you. It's like being married, and the wife would do things to make you mad, or she'll do things to make you feel good. And men do that to women too when they want something from the woman, especially sex. They'll make her feel good, or they'll make her angry. And the woman's gonna have to say, you don't want to be angry. You want to speak up. You want to disagree with what's going on. It's wrong, but do not be angry. Then you won't have fear. You won't have doubt. You won't have worries. You'll be able to see, but you got to stay away from anger. That's why you must forgive your mothers and your fathers so that you can overcome the spirit of anger. It's a spirit and it's wicked. Nothing good in anger because it has no love, folks. You need love to defeat evil. And love is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's from God. It's His nature. Anytime you have situations happening in your life, always be still. Don't overreact. Most of the people that I know, they say, oh, I know Jesus. I love Jesus. I'm an observer. And as soon as something don't go their way, they get mad. I'm like, what the? If you overreact, folks, remember to do that. Don't overreact. And when you get mad, it's your problem. It ain't your wife's problem, your husband's problem, your neighbor, your friend, your preacher, your teacher. It's your problem. Why you think you tick? It didn't go your way or the way you think it should go. Don't have a way you think it should go. Let life just happen. Thoughts make you think that life should go the way you want it to go. And if it doesn't, if someone don't do or say or act the way you think they should act, you hate them. And then you blame them for being mad. It's the darndest thing I ever seen, but it's amazing to see it. So relax. I read or heard that some Republicans are starting to pull their advertisements from Google or whomever, right? Because so many conservatives are being shut down, discriminated against, shadow banned, and all that kind of stuff. So conservatives are starting to fight back. It is happening to us too. I was just taking it one day at a time. But you could go to jlptalk.com and find all the ways to support us. You can check out rebuildingtheman.com and support our nonprofit organization. You can call 800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663. And don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, share, and study. And also, we have thefallenstate.tv. Ring the bell. Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby.
You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room,
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border. And then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on American soil. So became the anchor baby. You don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. Thanks for tuning in on this fine Tuesday. It's nice to have you back after a little Labor Day, no Labor Day, Monday. No Labor Day, but we were together a little bit. So it's nice to be back here on Tuesday. Pleasure to have you all here. Okay, folks, we'll get to all of you tuning in today on this fine Tuesday. Okay, we got a bit of a show ahead of us here. In fact, I want to pull up something right away. We're monitoring the situation. You understand? We are monitoring the situation. Okay, we're trying to pay attention to a little live thing because they're saying the president is going to be making an announcement, and there was some talk about he's in trouble. He's having health issues, death. They were saying on the rumors on the internet. We'll get to some of that. We're looking at a live thing. We'll see if he shows up just to show it, right? Because whatever. But I had heard about it. I'll tell you about how I heard about it, I guess. Real quick, we'll get to all that. And all our calls. Look, there was somebody there. 888-775-3773. You got something on your mind, something you want to get off your chest. Okay, something you want to talk about. Maybe you're planning something. Maybe you're listening. You're going to do something today. To my audience, in fact, allow me to do something strange. Speak to an individual. Just shortly, this is rude, maybe egotistical. But Jaden, if you're listening to Jaden, don't look at other people. Don't look at other people. Okay, it's about you. Okay, life is about you. Personally, now you ask Jesse, you ask him. Well, personally, I mean, everything I hear is about you. It's about how are you reacting. I mean, I've been listening for some time now, and to say how I say it, it's like he gives you this perspective to get you out of this trap, this mental trap of that somebody else is to blame, that you are this or that ism or this or that identity, or you got to live up to this or that. You're stuck in this mental prison, and I'm seeing you make the same kind of mistake, a setup. If I forgive my mother, will my life get worse? Do you want it's? Are you wrong or not? Are you wrong for what you're thinking? Is it holding you back, and do you want to let it go and find out what that might look like? Anyways, so shout out to him. Back to the show, folks. Don't worry about that little strange aside. To my calls coming in, I'll get to you. 888-775-3773. What can I say? Live on rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. Live on punchy.tv/Anchor Baby. Let me just type Trump live. Let me make sure I got the right one. Announcement, right? Okay, there we go. Nice shot of that's what I wanted. Little shot of the White House. Okay. Waiting to see. Well, is the president okay? Is he okay? So they're saying he's going to make some announcement about the Department of Defense or rather. Not sure. But it looks like he is fine. It looks like he's well, right? And I didn't even know about some of these details, like Forbes and others, right, about how he's been not seen. Nobody's been seeing him since Tuesday or something like that. And I guess I'm not paying attention like that, right? I'm not the journalist like these people. I guess they know, right? They're used to seeing Trump every day or something like that. They say he didn't make an appearance, canceled some. Forbes saying rumors. They're using that word, okay? YouTube. Okay. Amid death rumors. And talking about this. Anyways, he said he showed up at some golf thing and it's like, okay, maybe he's fine. But anyways, that was you may have heard of some of that, okay? So I heard it too. In fact, when I heard it, this is how I came onto X. And I heard it Well, first I came onto I went on X and I saw people sharing this clip of JD saying, "Oh, should anything happen, I'm ready." And I'm not gonna play it because I'm probably gonna get hit with some ad or something here. But I saw that, right? I went on X, I saw the clip. It was JD's like, "If anything happens, I'm ready," something like that. But he was stressing. I mean, he was that the president's fine and that he'll serve the rest of his term, etc. I didn't watch the interview, but I did see that. I'm like, okay, how we feeling, folks? How we feeling, boys? Are we is it let's go JD? He could carry the torch. Why am I laughing? I shouldn't be laughing like that. And thanks, calls. We'll get to you, 888-775-3773. Super chatters and all that. Whatever. I mean, he's there working with the guy, but I don't know him. I barely know. I don't know anything about this world. It's just I seen Trump, right? Solid guy to me. Solid guy doing what he can. But I don't know about this guy. He's sitting there like, no, if I could do it. Is he a skin suit? Is he a shapeshifter? I'll tell you this. I don't know much, but I was one of these moments for me that was a bit of a trip, a bit of a total trip was the DeSantis switcheroo, the little DeSantis switcheroo ploy game, which mulling it over my head even right now, maybe it's not so strange. Because it's like you got Trump. He came in 2016. He's like, I'm going against this political establishment that's in the Republicans as well that doesn't want to fix the country. Basic things, crime, border, you get it. That's the story. Comes in, right? 2020, it's a mess. January 6th, blah, 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 whatever. DeSantis comes in and they're like, hey, this guy can be Trump without Trumpism without Trump. And it's just like the switcheroo. Oh, actually, we agree with everything he says, but how about we present you this, folks? We need your support. And maybe I don't know how to describe it in a sophisticated way, but it seems like it's a machine, the exact machine Trump went against. Anything they back, anything they create, in my mind, is like weird territory, right? Can you say that about JD? I mean, what's this machine? I think I know a little bit. I mean, they say, what was it? It's like, call it the GOP. Call it those think tanks, Heritage Foundation, Citadel. Remember Citadel Hedge? Stuff like that. I don't know, a little bit. Well, Club for Growth. I've read names. I'm naming some names. I don't know. I don't know if these are the same people. Are they involved with Vance? That's now out of my purview. So anyways, maybe you feel the same way. We're monitoring the situation. But I don't see Trump. The news is he's coming out to make some announcement about moving. It says here, Space Command is moving from Colorado to Alabama. Okay. So, amazing. We'll monitor that. I want to get to some calls that you guys are calling in. That's awesome. Thank you so much. 888-775-3773. I mean, we're monitoring the situation. What can I say? It's not getting better. What can I tell you? There was this one story, like at the outset here. You hear about this one? And then write calls. We'll do calls. We'll have some fun here. But I just wanted to mention this one real quick. Man charged with murder after a ding-dong ditch. Shooting leaves an 11-year-old boy dead. And, okay, I was thinking about a couple of things. Just that story recently. I forget now. But it was an individual, right? Wasn't it a Space Force guy? Wasn't it actually a Space Force guy? Space Force shoots carjackers. And those carjackers were like 14 or something like that. Ex-Space Force sergeant. Remember this individual? 54 years in prison. I mean, turns out that guy was like chasing them. It was maybe wild, right? I don't know about supporting it. That's not even what I'm saying, but that story came back to me, right? I'm thinking about it again. You gotta wonder just how much things have changed, maybe. Where you just don't know. I mean, look, I know this. You see these pictures of this 11-year-old shot dead. Sounds terrible, right? I mean, it's a terrible thing. That's for sure. I'll definitely say that. But allow me to pull up. Where did I put that? I had a little clip, just a little short one. They were talking about it. You see kind of like some neighbors describing just a little bit of details. And where did I put that? It was definitely very short, but let's see here. Maybe they have it here.
Charges now filed after the shooting death of an 11-year-old boy who was playing Ding Dong Ditch.
This is a prank where you ring a doorbell and then run away, and this time it turned tragic. Fox 26's Jade Fleury is at the courthouse where we believe the man charged will face a judge, I believe here, actually in the next.
Has the same name and address as the property where that 11-year-old boy was shot and killed after ding-dong ditching over the weekend. The shooting happened over Labor Day weekend at a house on Minboro in East Houston. Police say that kids were ringing doorbells and running away when a homeowner came out and shot at the kids, hitting the 11-year-old boy in the back. He died Sunday at the hospital. The shooter was questioned and released, but now we know that a man has been arrested for murder.
So I'm letting you hear it for yourself there with the news there. That's pretty much the situation, what happened. Now, the video I saw, there was some woman they were interviewing. She's saying, like, yeah, we live here in the neighborhood. These are dead-end streets. We kind of all know each other. And she was trying to say, I wanted you to see yourself. But basically, she's saying, like, we know everybody around here, and it's just strange that these young boys were running around at night at this time of night, is how she put it. I'm paraphrasing a little bit. It was a lady, seemed like a rather large lady with what looked like security, maybe even police uniform, but she was saying she was a resident. Just giving you more details, I guess. Securities, your security guards, the ladies, right? The authority of the area. But look, call it strange, call it whatever. Maybe he was afraid, didn't know what was going on. Anybody ever play Ding Dong Ditch? Anybody ever play that? I mean, did you ever think you'd be like hurt over it? I don't know if anybody ever thought that. And then as a homeowner, when someone's running around your property, ringing the doorbell, acting strange, is your first thought pranks? I don't know if my mind would go there. As of late, I don't know what put it like that. It's just what I think. I don't know if I think, oh, pranksters. There go pranksters at this. There they go, pranksters again. So yeah, totally changed. You just don't know what it is. You don't know if it's some criminal now. And should you defend yourself, what mess will you put yourself in? So, look, I'm saying it's not getting better. We'll get to it. Look, we'll get to these women in charge and all that. It's not getting better. I just don't see it. So I'll tell you when I do. I want to get to my calls, 888-775-3773. But I was thinking about this a bit. I remember playing Ding Dong Ditch. Now, we didn't call it that. Some of my audience is familiar. I think we've kind of been through this a little bit. I don't know if I knew this much. They got Wikipedia articles on this, folks. But what I'm getting at is what we called it in Canada. We called it Nicky Nicky Nine Doors. Are you familiar with this? I never heard it called Ding Dong Ditch. I still play to this day. We called it N-word knocking. Is that a joke? If you don't answer, they break in. Play stupid games, rarely win or glory. I mean, there was an 11-year-old. He had this look to him. I don't know how to put it. A young thug. I shouldn't laugh. This is not. It's a terrible thing. I don't know anything about him. This kid was like involved in strange things. I have no reason to believe that. I'm just commenting on the look. And as I'm trying to pull it up, please allow me to mess around with this. Hold on. Where did I put that? Is it this one? There was a picture and he looked like he had that cut. That like straight. They call it Edgar cut. Yeah, Nicky Nine Doors. We didn't call it Ding Dong Ditch. You ever heard that? Wikipedia is somewhat familiar. I don't know if I knew this. Now, Nicky Nine Doors came after. There's even something older than that. Knock Knock Ginger. The name of this game, the original names of this game, I think, might carry. Is this an anti-Irish slur? Is this anti-Irish? What is this? Knock Knock Ginger? We got people in the chat saying they called it N-word knocking. Huh? I think the children are maybe a little mean. Or maybe the children didn't make this up. But look, Knock Knock Ginger. A prank dating back to the traditional Cornish holiday of Nickanon Night, where it was called Nicky Nine Doors in the 19th century. That's maybe where it came from, right? Maybe it's a little bit of Europe, a little bit of enduring Europe up in Canada. That's where I got that from, maybe. Europe endures. The Cornish name endures up in Canada. The name Knock Knock Ginger or Knock Down Ginger or Knocky Door Ginger, used in parts of southern England, is attested as at least as early as 1867. With the poem, Ginger, Ginger broke a winder, hit the window crack. The baker came out to give him a clout and landed on his back. That Ginger always messing around. That Ginger always starting up a ruckus, knocking on doors. A little bit of history for you. But yeah, we called it Nicky Nine Doors. I remember playing it once, and it was nerve-wracking. It was... And I was abandoned. I was abandoned by my cowardly buddies and the security guard of the building, because it was like an apartment building. So it was like immigrant. It was like immigrant Nicky Nine Doors. It wasn't even cool like you saw it in the movies or anything. I saw that in the cartoons or whatever. There's people's homes, white picket fences. You got to run up. You're like, ooh, you're knocking on the door. Maybe it's like your friend. No, this is like immigrant Nicky Nine Doors in like an apartment building with like people who probably have no kids. They're like, what are you doing? And then the security guard, I look back, I look behind. My buddies have abandoned me. Security guards behind me. And that was it. That was the last time I did that. So anyways, it's a different world. I want to get to calls. Maybe I'll express this further. Jermaine, Canada. How you doing, sir? You're on the air.
Hey, Nick.
How you doing, Jermaine?
Doing well today, man. How are you?
All is well. All is well.
Nice. Yeah, so I'm calling about...
Are you familiar with Nicky Nine Doors?
No.
You never heard that?
Never.
So I know you're in Canada, but if you could say, like, what are you an immigrant or born there?
Yeah. I moved here. I moved here in December of 2026.
Oh wow!
So I'm not familiar. I'm not from
2026.
2000. Well, actually, 2016. My bad.
Yeah. Okay, I understand.
Yeah. So I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah. Well, you were at that point. I don't know if you were running around playing Ding Dong Ditch.
I've heard of the term Ding Dong Ditch.
Mm-hmm.
But
go ahead.
Yeah. So actually, I want to comment on what you were saying earlier too, with the kid ding dong and ditching.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Just so I don't forget. But I call about, you're familiar with Doug Ford, right? The premier.
I'm familiar.
Yeah. So I've been here since 2016, and I remember Doug Ford was still the premier then. I don't know how long you were in Canada for. Do you remember how long he's been in power for?
You saying Doug Ford? Doug Ford.
Yeah.
I don't remember when he became premier, but it wasn't like I wasn't in, like, I was already probably here, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was sometime during Trump or something.
Yeah, he's been in there for a while, right? And I'm not sure if you're aware of what happened in Vaughan. I think it was on the weekend or last week sometime. There's been an execution of this man in Vaughan. They invaded his home, and they call it a robbery. His daughter was held at gunpoint, and they executed him. And
like it was okay.
So yeah, what's your question?
No, please keep going.
Yeah, so Doug Ford now is coming out. He's saying that people are tired of this. People are speaking up, and people need to defend their home and their family with whatever is necessary to defend their home and family. So I was listening to this guy, and I'm like, interesting. I'm like, how long have Doug Ford been in power? So I'm questioning myself. I'm like, I remember him being in power from I got here in Canada, and since Justin Trudeau been in power, and I'm like, Justin Trudeau was in power. They kind of like banned guns for you not to have guns, but their home is premier, this government. Their homes are being protected with guns and with security, and they leave the public defenseless because they say guns are bad, right? And Doug Ford made a little statement about Little Johnny. He called this guy Little Johnny. Little Johnny, he didn't have a good upbringing, so he goes in jail and we just let him out for him to do the same thing over and over 4 times before we really do something about it. So he was saying his phone gets called nonstop because Canadians are just tired of the mess that is happening. So he's trying to say now that, Canadians need to defend themselves with whatever is necessary to defend themselves. I'm like, isn't Doug Ford one of the people that caused this problem in the first place? People, these government create the situation, and then they come in to be the savior, so they stay in power.
I mean, in a lot of cases, sure.
Yeah. So, and now there's a lot of immigrants and illegals in the country, and the violence is just crazy. Because at one point they were stealing cars, and they were saying, just take your valuable things out of the car.
I was going to mention
leave it on lock, so they don't come and terrorize you. They just take the car, and I'm like, that's kind of crazy. You're just incentivizing these people to just do whatever they want. And now it comes down to that they're breaking into these people's homes and terrorizing them. And it's a liberal government here in Canada. And I'm like, isn't Chicago facing the same problem Canada is facing now? Even though I think the Democrats and liberal they're considered the same thing. And I'm like, but on one side in the state, they're black, but over here they're white. So if someone like Trump should be here in Canada and start enforcing the law because Canada has become lawless, are they going to say it's racism too?
I'm not from. I'm getting the general point here, and I was going to mention that about this news report. I remember seeing this where they were telling homeowners to leave the valuables near the entrance so that you don't have an encounter should you get your home invaded. Leave the valuables and even the car, something like the car keys too, up front so that you avoid it, so that you can avoid an interaction with them and get yourself hurt, etc. It really is crazy. I don't know the details about Doug and how he's running things personally. I would think even in a crazy, because I know you can get your restricted and non-restricted license. So in Canada, pretty much a lot of places in Canada, I mean, I would defend myself anyways, in a sense, is what I'm not telling people what to do. I'm not giving you guys any direction on what to do there. Look into the law for yourself and all that. But what can I say? I mean, these people are insulated from all that, so they don't really care about all that. And you know, I saw Doug. Doug's like, I mean, I don't know what to say. Doug, I saw him like pretty much attacking Trump and over the tariffs thing. I don't know what to say, man.
Yeah, but did you think about the point when, you know, both libs and Democrats, pretty much the same thing, and you know, in the blue states in America, it's just lawless, it's just crime because they don't like the police, they like to just do whatever they want. And here in Canada, it's pretty much the same thing because you have these. I've seen video of the black people. I can't say I've seen videos of white people like going in stores. So maybe I should look into that. But I know I've seen.
I wanted to ask, so this in the Vaughn thing, you're saying, what were you saying about that? About in America it's black and in Canada it's white. What were you saying about that?
Oh, the leaders and the mayor government. On one side, they're black because most of the black states they're the state that have the most crime and violence, right? And they're being run by black people. And here in Canada, it's the white people that pretty much govern these province.
Yeah.
But
with like these like French names.
But what I'm saying, when they say Trump is gonna go in and try to, you know, clean up the crime and all of these things, they say it's racism. He just wants to use it for his next election or power or something. Right?
Like grabbing power, militarizing, and they're saying they're taking it as far as saying like this is a setup to like steal elections and stuff like that. Some people were saying Trump's you know, move to put the guard in all these places in Chicago, etc.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gathering what you're saying. You're saying like if in Canada, well, how are they going to say it's racist and all that? But I mean, is there anybody even doing that in Canada? I don't. Is there someone saying we're going to clean this up?
No.
I mean,
the only
in Canada,
person I would
it's kind of. The thing is, it's about a lot of these areas. These things are localized too, and you see the news. Like for example, a lot of you people. Well, I don't know how else to put this, but you guys will see maybe news about LA, and it sucks. It's bad. You can see homeless in all sorts of places. I think people here personally minimize it. They'll say it's localized, sure, but there's some truth to that. It's the homeless. They all go to like Skid Row, and so when you see videos, you think, wow, every inch of LA is messed up. It's like, no, well, the nice areas they push them out, and I mean, what's it like in Canada? Is I guess my question. Like, where's all the?
Oh man, so you know, Ottawa is the capital. It's so bad. It's bad.
Ottawa.
Of course.
I heard that before.
Yeah. Of course, you know, you go into the rural areas where there's nice big houses, there's nice places, of course, but this is the capital. They're drugs addicts just walking on the street and just doing drugs in the open. And there are kids and family passing by. And I was downtown the other day, and this woman, she was so high, she's just sitting down and sleeping and leaning off, and it's crazy. I'm like, wow.
It's terrible. Yeah, that's like the American cities.
Yeah.
Well, man, yeah. What can I say? Terrible stuff, but Jermaine, anything else you want to say about this?
Yeah, I just wanted to make the point in saying, like, you know, either you're black or you're white, you're going to do things to stay in power. And then when someone that loves the country and wants the good of the country and he wants to enforce the law, then he gets labeled and criticized to be racist and all these words, because you know, if someone comes in and clean it up, people are going to start waking up and be like, whoa, what have this guy been doing for so long? But they keep you down and try to manipulate you and control you, right? So my point is, it has nothing to do with racism because it's the same thing that is happening in Chicago pretty much, and all these states that are run by black liberal Democrats, whatever you want to call it. It's the same thing here in Canada.
And what is the
but
same
here
thing?
is white people.
You're saying a whole bunch of immigrants are running around and blacks are running around committing crimes, and the decent folk are like, what do we do? Hey, government. And then the government's like, no, lip service / does nothing. Are you saying that's happening in Canada?
I'm saying with the leaders, they just want power. I'm not saying I haven't really seen the crime that the white people are doing, so I can't really comment on it, but I know I've seen video of just the black people, they're just going in malls, breaking jewelry store and just stealing the stuff and run away with it because that's how they want the country to be, because they don't want to enforce the law because they don't want to be labeled racist, or they just want to stay in power and keep control over the people. And most Canadians, they're so lost. It's crazy to see how lost Canadians are. It's insane to see.
In what way?
So, and then they keep voting the same government in, expecting a change. That's crazy.
In what way are they lost? In what way do you see them lost?
Lost. They're supporting the Pride. The guy, they said Pride Month should be every day. They support the mental illness that the kids are going through, the transgenderism. The government and most people in Canada, they sympathize and empathize with these people, but they don't understand that these people are going through.
And you know why?
Uh-huh.
Are you familiar with why?
Why would you say
they're like that? Those Canadians you're talking about. You know,
because
supporting the Pride season and all that mess.
Oh, yeah. They think it's love. They think
if
you identify with them and yes,
but culturally,
you have mental illness.
I agree. Yes, yeah, I know what you mean. Like, it's like they think it's love. That's kind of how like all people operate. But here's how I see it: it's like when I'm thinking about when you're mentioning those Canadians, I think about the people I met over the years, and the way they are, and this includes I'm talking about white Canadians, and then like also anchor babies too, kind of because they kind of adopted some of this as well. But put it like this: the reason they're like that is because they're like nice. But when I say nice, I mean like I'm trying to speak about a cultural thing, and they've basically been taught and told, hey, it's time to be non-racist. It's a new world. We're going to accept these people. We're going to be diverse. It's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. And so you got to understand. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to describe the actual cultural. Mama. Sure, yeah, it's mama, but I'm describing the cultural. What happened here? That these people are just trying to be nice. I'm not saying it's good. It's nice is weak. It's evil, but it's a better description than like, I don't know. Just
I see what you're
look
saying.
At them.
They were beat into submission.
And that's like, and that's why they're doing that, right? And then there's all these people that have come into there, right? And they see that as they basically use that niceness, right? Taking advantage of it.
But the funny thing, Nick, it's a facade because they're not nice. Isn't that kind of funny, right?
Of course, because nobody is really nice, right? That's like an everybody thing.
That's so funny. Because closed door, they say the craziest stuff.
Where'd you immigrate from? Out of curiosity,
Jamaica.
If you can say. Oh, that's right. No, I know some of this. Yeah, you Jamaica, right?
I'm Jamaican, man. Yeah, man.
What was it like being born in Jamaica, and at what age, if you could say, you don't have to divulge information, did you go to Canada?
That's interesting that you asked this question, actually, because I moved here when I was, 21? I think was 21. And when I was living in Jamaica, I was happy, free, none of this ideology bullcrap that they sell here in the West. But I'm pretty sure it's in Jamaica now because everything has been meteorized. And I never knew racism. Well, it doesn't exist, but it's only when I came here I was like, racism, like, what is that,
Right, like they're like talking about it.
I'm like, are we not all one people? Like, we don't see color. That's the thing, right? We don't see color.
Was your life better in Jamaica or in Canada?
In some ways, yes. In some ways, not. Because there's a lot of opportunity here in Canada for sure, right? But if you're not aware, you get beat down in Canada because it's just like a work. I see most people, they see life here in Canada as just work, and no fun for them, I would say. Because Canada gets taxed hard, man.
You said what?
Huh?
You said you don't like working so much? Then don't work so much.
No, not me. I'm not saying me. I'm saying people in general. They're like,
but I thought we were talking about you.
No, not me.
It's like, oh man, life in Canada, it's just I'm getting beat down by having to work so much. Well, I guess just don't work as much, maybe. Why are you working so much and getting beat down?
You're asking me the difference between when I used to live there and here, so I'm telling you what I'm seeing.
Okay.
In Jamaica,
culturally, I think I'm following you. Like, is maybe more laid back in Jamaica, you're saying?
Yeah, it's more laid back. You know, you have your farm, you have your fruits, you have your trees everywhere. So really, you're not really worrying, right? Everything is provided.
Do you feel judged if you were to like be a little bit more laid back, so you didn't feel so beat down in Canada? Would you feel like judged or something? Is that why you're unable to operate how you want to operate?
No, I'm pretty much the same. Well, I wasn't the same until like somewhat and some not what, because I kind of took on the cultural beat down a little bit because, you know, you come and see something new, it's different, but you kind of
Jamaican man want to sit back. Right? Jamaican man want to chill. I think he's got the freedom to do that in Canada.
With me?
I mean, yeah, you're telling me the beat down work culture.
Yeah, so I had to wake up to that, and I realized, like, it's just life. You have to work to make a living, and why are you worrying about it, you know? So now I'm like, I'm just doing work. I'm not even thinking about it, and the day go by even faster.
And you said you were feeling beat down by the idea. Oh, my apologies. And when? Go ahead.
Sorry, I don't get you there.
I cut you off, but I was going to ask, were you feeling? You said you were feeling oppressed by not oppressed, but you said like the ideology stuff. It wasn't in Jamaica, but now it's all this gender stuff and crap in Canada. You're saying you're feeling a certain way about that?
No, I never felt any way about the ideology thing. It's just the culture when it comes to working, people would say, "Oh, you know, it's another day, another dollar." I just work. They say they just work, and do nothing because some say Canada is boring or they really don't get the freedom. You got all this
work. It seems like you're set. You're like, you got work. You're set. You got so much work, it's beating you down. You're like, why can't people have fun, but you have the freedom to go have fun? I don't understand what you're complaining about.
No, I'm not complaining. But I see your point. It's after you wake up.
Sounds like Canada got it made for you.
You're right. You're definitely right.
And this is what I mean by the niceness of the people. Yeah, it's weak, sure. It's whatever. You could call it many things, but I think when I'm thinking about those Canadians, I'm like, well, to understand what's happening there, it's not just they're not like going around like I hate immigrants. No, they're saying. Anyways, I'm not making a point there. I'm just saying that to better understand someone, wouldn't you want to describe them better? And I think a better description is like, look at these nice people who thought that they could have this diverse world. Maybe that'll tell you the story of Canada a bit. I don't
know. No. Nothing good is going to come from that. Nothing good because it's overcrowded now. There's really no job for the people, you know, because they have opened up the country to be so diverse. And now they complain online, but I don't, and they go downtown and do their protests and whatever, right? But yeah, but to the point, I wanted to touch on the point you were making about the doorbell thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, from what I'm understanding, that.
I didn't touch nothing. Jermaine, what happened? We lost Jermaine. Click. Not sure what happened there, sir. Call me back. 888-775-3773. Where was I? We'll get to super chats. We'll get to all of you. Thank you so much. Rumble.com/American Anchor, baby. I want to keep rolling through some of these calls here. Where were we? Canada. So much talk about Canada. Let's see. You guys saw this thing? Now, we'll do this later. Oh, man, but it did come up.
Hate in Canada now? It's because more Indians have come to...
This is an Indian man, I think. I don't know. You tell me. I think it's more like the type of Indian I grew up with. And we're both looking at Canada like, wait, hold up. I didn't think the village was coming over.
Do you want to know why Indians are getting so much hate in Canada now? It's because more Indians have come to Canada in the last 5 years than the last 100 combined. And they're all coming as international students. Great. They're all studying at schools that are legitimate. No. 94% are studying at community colleges and these diploma mills for certificates. Like Anderson College, that used to be a Walmart, and then they made it into some diploma mills. Or Candor...
Have I swear I've seen that. Wait, what the heck? Anderson College in a mall? Where is this?
College, which is literally connected to an Indian restaurant, has graduated over 45,000 Indian students, and also has another college beside it, Stanford. Sweetie, our society is going to Stanford. No, not the one in California, the one in Brampton.
Stanford and Brampton, shout out. Or Stanford University, Brampton, Ontario. Are you following so far? He's trying to describe this scam where they're just graduating these students. They're coming over on these, I forget what visas, whatever, to come and study, but they come in through that system to actually stay in Canada.
Graduated over 45,000
And he made an interesting point here in a moment, and then we'll get to calls.
Why are you coming to these schools? Or Sunview College, which is connected to some bar. Places like Lamberton College, which is connected to Queen's College, which God knows what that is. This is where the students were protesting because they failed all their classes. I don't know how dumb you have to be to fail classes at a diploma mill. I showed you like 5. There are 800. There are 800 of these just in Ontario. I don't know about the other provinces. I'm Toronto born and raised. And every brown kid I grew up with went to either U of T, York, or Ryerson.
Yeah, all in Toronto, University of Toronto.
All right, what the is this? What are these schools? But the whole stereotype was, are you going to be a doctor, engineer, or lawyer? Now it's, are you going to be Uber Eats, DoorDash, or Lyft? India has some of the smartest people on the planet. I'm not even Indian. You know who taught me AP Calculus?
Oh, he's not Indian?
A random Indian man on YouTube. We're not getting these geniuses, all right? We're literally getting deep rural villagers. That's why they're studying at these fake schools, because they would never qualify for permanent residence without a little standing, which is why the highest number of...
So there was one point that was really interesting, and we'll move on. I want to get to my calls. He said, oh, yeah, that this is why you're starting to see all this stuff about, them pooping in the beach or something like that. That's why you're seeing all this, they're disgusting, and on the internet and stuff. It's not that wasn't even happening before. And personally, I got to say, I didn't see that. I didn't see, Indians pooping in public places. But, there's this guy saying, it's not like it wasn't happening before, but now there's the attention on it because people are tired. And anyways, and that's a crazy, just the opener, right? More Indians in the last 5 years than the last 100 combined, if that's true. So pretty interesting info there. Jermaine, real quick, but thanks for calling me back, man. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Maybe it's your end, but I do want to wrap this up, sir. But go ahead.
Yeah, I'll make it quick. Yeah, my Bluetooth was on, it disconnected. Yeah, you were making a little comment there about the kid that did the run and dash or the prank. I think in your days it was different. We know in our days it was different. Now, because there's so much crime going on, the guy may have react too quick to what happened when he rang the doorbell and ran away.
It seems like it, maybe.
Yeah. Could be hatred. I don't know. I'm just guessing at this point. because
You're
you see
saying
the news. And,
the 40-year-old, whatever, Leon Gonzalo Jr., who shot the 11-year-old Mexican-looking kid.
Yeah, the guy that shot him. That's his name. Is he Mexican
Leon
too?
Gonzalo Jr.
That was Mexican.
ABC.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I really don't know. Leon
Yeah,
Gonzalo.
so
I mean, it seems like it might be. We got to pick on the screen for those. It's kind of blocked.
Yeah.
Here's the pic. Here's a picture of this. This does look like a Hispanic man to me.
Oh.
the questioning is in the almost I don't know, Eastern European Russian look, but yeah, I'd say something to that effect, sir.
Yeah, he may have reacted out of fear of what he saw on the news, and like Justice said on the weekend, don't react too fast or too quick to the evil. So it might be that. I'm guessing about that part, and you may not be right, but now is not the era that we grew up in, where things were pretty good, and you can't do those things because of what's happening all over the world and the country with invaders and stealing and all that stuff. So now it's the parents' responsibility now to tell their kids, like, things are different now. It's not how they grew up and can do crazy stuff. No, it's not like that anymore. So
yeah, and I'm not even familiar with what those kids were doing at such an hour going around. Like some of the neighbors apparently were a little like it seemed to indicate that they were strange kids. They shouldn't even been around there in that area. So I'll put it like this. What else did I want to say? Look, I've known actually I've known a few law like Hispanic men, Mexican men who appreciate the law, appreciate they may have come some time ago legally or otherwise. Some of them are even, patriotic at times. Like I've met some men, lawful Mexican men, kind of patriotic. I'm thinking of one in particular who's like Republican, right? Like Trump. But even if not, I've known men like that, and there's sometimes even armed individuals. The Trump guy I'm thinking of is maybe a little bit too quick on this whole 2A thing. Like he's real hype about it. You gotta defend yourself and all that, and that might carry with it a strangeness that could put you in the wrong position. But put it like this: I've known like Mexican men, why Hispanics like that, and they'd be maybe. What I'm getting at is that they would want to defend themselves and their property in a proper way, and they could see that as a threat in a world that's getting crazier. When is it going to be somebody else in your property because you got these? I don't know. Now I'm not saying that that's this 11-year-old, but you got now they're 13, 14-year-old hoodlums running around and carjacking, doing crazy things. But sir, Jermaine. Thank you for that, man. Call me back.
Yeah, Nick. All right, man. Enjoy the rest of your show.
Yes, sir. 888-775-3773. What a mess, huh? It's different now, maybe, but where was I here? Where was I here? Look, thank you so much for your calls. Let me see here. William out of California. How you doing? Number 7.
Hey, Nick, I'm doing all right. Can you hear me okay?
Coming in loud and clear.
Oh, excellent. Hey, so just a quick to touch on that thing you shared about the Ding Dong Dash.
Now it's a dash? It's a ditch. It's a dash. It's a
I'm
9-door.
I'm thinking of DoorDash. Sorry about that. All that could be good training to become a DoorDasher, I would imagine. But, so my one question, because I don't know if you remember, I was an MP in the past. My first question would be, at what time of the night did that happen? Because if it's something recent and it gets dark around 9 o'clock, what's an 11-year-old, a minor, doing out past curfew? Because there is curfew for minors, but cranking like that, I would imagine they weren't with their parents anyway. So that would be my first question: is what were those kids doing out in a neighborhood that wasn't theirs doing that? And if they know everybody, what were they at the door in the middle of the night? Correct? Does that make sense?
I understand your questions, and I was gathering some similar vibes from some of the neighbors I was watching. I'm just not familiar. I don't know if the kid is not from his area. I did read that the homeowner that they kept saying that his name it coincides with the owner or a resident of that address. But this kid, I don't know. I haven't seen if he is or isn't from the neighborhood. But these neighbors seemed a little.
Shot in the back.
Yeah,
he was running. So, like, we don't even know if it was outside, if they got inside somehow. No
indication they were inside the home.
Okay, but there are 11-year-olds and 12-year-olds that are very mature looking for their age. And at night, how would you really know? You just know there's somebody, ringing your doorbell. And I'm just. No, I'll admit I'm spitballing here.
No, I want to pull up this picture of the kid.
Yeah.
To kind of add to what you're saying a bit. He looked a little.
If it was a closed neighborhood and everybody knew each other, they might have called each other and said, "Hey, there's these kids that are going door to door, maybe doing pranks or not knowing what they're doing, or it could be level one. If no one answers, they try to break in. I mean, that's what happens. They can say it's a prank, but have the kids do it, and then the parents come behind, and I don't know. So who knows what's going on?
Yeah, I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure, but
well, like I said, we run with these. I'm not saying we get tidbits from the news, and yet being a ex-law enforcement officer, there's always way more to any situation.
True,
and so we're definitely assuming a lot.
Yeah, and personally, I'm not. It's fine if the details come out. I'm personally not even that interested in this. This is what I mean in that, like the case with the ex-Space Force guy shooting those carjackers, and in this one, people were saying, "Oh, he's justified. He's defending his property." And with the Space Force guy, there was I look at the details, and he's like, getting in his car, going after them. I'm not. It's like I'm really making this more overarching point that it's like it seems like you got Wild West in America, ever more chaos, and that's really the point.
Well, I can tell you this:
with people seems to maybe, like you say, and we both agree. I have the similar notion that he may have been overreacting to a defensive situation. And it's like, why? Well, because America's going crazy. So go ahead.
Yeah, who knows, man? All I know is that if people come knocking at my door and it's dark, I just don't think it's a good idea. Even when I used to sell Kirby's door to door, I was very apprehensive at night because in the wintertime, it gets dark really early. So 5 o'clock, it can be dark. And you could tell the people when you ring the doorbell, they're not as receptive and they're very suspicious.
Of course.
When you're a stranger ringing a doorbell, So anyway, if that wasn't interesting, I originally called in for something I think is very interesting. You had mentioned a few weeks back, or maybe a couple months, Nick, because I listen to all y'all in church.
Yeah, man, thank you.
And yeah, no worries. And I got people listening, and they're coming out of their hell, and they're
listening to Anchor, amazing. Baby? Go ahead, man. Thank you for that.
Well, they're listening to JLP, and then and
he did put in.
So you mentioned a while back about astral projecting, lucid dreaming. Sorry, apologies.
I don't remember dreaming. Astral projecting. I'm like, whoa, man.
No. I'm going to tie into it. So anyway,
let's get the right spiritual thing going on here.
Right? Yeah. No. Understood, sir.
No, no problem. Go ahead.
So they say, and when I say they, when I looked it up online on the internet, but not Wikipedia, that they say only about 1% of the population can lucid dream. And it took me a while to do that. And for your callers who don't know what that is, lucid dreaming is when you realize you're actually dreaming and you're in a dream, and then you take control of it. You not only do stuff that you just take control, but it's a fake reality, and you can start doing stuff that's, if it was in reality, it would be supernatural. So I remember years ago when I tried to do it, there would be times where I knew I was dreaming, but every time I knew that and tried to control the dream, I would wake up. It was very aggravating. And then when I was a young man, I made friends in the military and talked to people who were into astral projection. And so then I remember being on the internet when the internet first came, when you could get on, like, what's that called? Those, when a whole bunch of people with a common thing get together and just talk. Like if you're about horses, you talk about horses, forums. And I got on this forum about astral projection. And after my folks died, I remember I would have like night terrors. I felt like I was getting electrocuted into my bed. And what that turned out to be was that before your spiritual or your astral body separates from your body, it feels like you're being electrocuted. So when I found that out and realized that was happening a lot, especially after my parents died, and that was happening quite a bit at night, when I found that out, I decided to relax, and the next thing I know, I was floating above looking at myself sleeping. So that kind of freaked me out. I floated up, looked, and went up and saw my neighborhood, and then I went back inside because they said, you got to be careful because you're in a realm, you're, consciously being in that realm instead of unconscious is a big difference. So I only did that once, and it kind of scared me a little bit. And then I kind of, after that, because that was a mess at that point. And then I decided
that was
to come back.
you would say an astral projection. You went in astral. This is not lucid dreaming at this point, right? You're saying you astrally projected.
So and I'm sorry.
You went
yes,
off.
I
You
did.
were in your bed
Yes.
and you entered a different dimension where you like separated from your body, able to look at your body, and then travel out in the physical world. You're saying that's what happened, right?
Yep.
Astral projecting.
At this point, you're
projecting,
around
not
my
lucid
neighborhood.
dreaming.
Yes, so that is a difference. So you had mentioned about lucid dreaming, and so I was just curious, and I'm sorry I jumped into that, but because somebody mentioned it earlier, I think on the Hake Show or JLP earlier this morning about doing the silent prayer, and that's my final tie-in, is that I was doing the silent prayer, and I actually popped out and did an astral projection, and that freaked me out. And I haven't done that the silent prayer again since then. Oh, I've tried, but I haven't been able to pop out, and because I wasn't knowing that's what was going to happen, but it did happen. And so,
and how do you know you popped out of your body, and you were
okay? I will share that with you. So, my phone goes off at a certain time every morning. I get up, I wake up, and after a while, your body just wakes up. You don't even need the alarm because it's so used to it when it's day in and day out. You just wake up anyway. So I had woken up, and I hit snooze on my alarm, and sometimes I drift back off to sleep. But I had been practicing the silent prayer, like you guys said. So I was just I was well rested, wasn't tired. And so I was following his instruction on how you relax all parts of your bodies, and then your eyes. And then when he said concentrate between your eyes, the next thing I know, like I said, this is when it finally happened. I popped and looked around, and when the way I was laying, my alarm clock was to my back, but I was still laying with my eyes closed. And I remember looking at the time, and I clearly popped and saw what time it was. And I'll even say it was 6:11. And as soon as that happened, I was like, wait a minute. I opened my eyes, and I'm facing the other way. I'm like, there's no way that just happened. I'm like, did I just astral project again? And I thought about it. I was like, nah, you're being silly. But then I thought, so I had this little quick mini conversation. Well, why don't you get up and turn around and look at the clock? And I'm like, oh, but if I do, and it's the right time, like, but by now it's probably 6:12. And I'm like, stop it. And I get up and get up out of bed, and it's 6:12. So that was the last time I did the silent prayer. So that's how I know, because it was literally like that one time many years ago, 20 plus, that I had astral projected and went quite a bit higher and looked around my my neighborhood in San Diego.
Wow.
But that just happened. So yeah, so that's what, because I wonder when JLP asks, and I know caller asked about that. So I didn't know.
A caller asked about astral projecting?
He mentioned it. Yeah, he said he was doing the silent prayer, and he goes, I'm worried. He said something about astral projecting, and that's why I decided to call.
I'll tell you this, I never astral projected. Okay, when I mentioned realizing I was dreaming, I mean, I knew it was a dream, and when I woke up, it was clear. I was sleeping, and now I'm awake, and
so
I'll
I guess
tell
my
you
question
that.
to you is, were you able to take control eventually? Like, how many times have you done it?
It was just like once as a kid, and it was short. And I just remember. I just remember it was a dream.
Okay.
I knew I was dreaming. I may have described it to my audience. Let me know, Chan. Have I described that before? It's kind of funny, kind of personal. But
So when I lucid dream,
look, it was a dream, and I woke up. You're trying to tell me, Nick. You're trying to stress. You're trying to stress to me that no, I was like, I knew I was awake. I looked at the time and all that. Look, I've never heard of that before. I've never heard Jesse talk about that. When we're talking about praying, he's talking about like seeing, slowing down and separating from this identity, this evil in your mind and all that. I've never heard him talk about separating from your body. So.
That's totally different. Astral projection is totally different.
I'll tell you that, folks.
Yeah.
Okay, no, we don't talk about any of this astral projecting. We're not telling you to sit and separate from your body.
No.
Jesse's telling you to separate from your mind and from your ego. But yeah, no, I've never heard this, man. I've never heard this.
I'm just describing something that happened to me, and I'm being honest.
That's fair. I'm taking it in. And if you know what, you're being honest to me, I'll be honest with you. I'm a little skeptical. Those are the things arising within me in my mind. But hey, whatever. I'm letting it go in one ear, out the other. I'm trying not to judge with I'm trying not to judge with face or gesture. And I'm hearing you out, man. Fast.
So the lucid dreaming, if I could go a little bit in about the lucid dreaming in the past, after a while, I knew I was dreaming. I stopped waking up, and I took control of my dreams. And sometimes, so I remember one time, I knew I was dreaming, and I entered a dojo and told them that they sucked at karate, and I knew I was dreaming. And I told them, give me your sensei. And I told him, try to take me down. And I just handled him. And then eventually a couple more guys got up. And this was before the Matrix came along. But I literally kicked everybody's ass in my dream.
You literally had the Matrix movie moment where you were like, wow, I know
Kung
Fu.
No, I knew I was dreaming.
You tell me astral projected, you downloaded Kung Fu and defeated.
No, stop. No, not talking about astral projection right now. I'm just talking about lucid dreaming.
Oh, okay.
When
you downloaded Kung Fu in your lucid dream?
No, you're just taking control of your dream because you know you're dreaming.
Oh, my bad. You did this in your dream. You were able to fight someone in a dream. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I flew when I was lucid dreaming. I was like on a pier.
Yes, I've done that a lot of times.
Yeah, and I was like, wait, this is a dream. And I'm like, then I just started flying.
A few times, how I started flying is flapping with my arms, which, that's ridiculous. That would never work. But if you do it intensely enough, you will rise off the ground, and then you're dreaming. And then I take off like Superman. So, yeah, I've done that. I've thrown lightning in my dreams like the Emperor did, in Star Wars. I've done that. And so,
that sounds crazy.
And like I said.
So, wait, I did want to ask you, because of time, I do want to move on a little fast, but I actually do have something for you. You said you stopped praying because of this. Like, why did you stop praying? Why did it scare you? Is it negative? What is it? Is this a negative thing? Why
no,
did you stop?
I didn't expect to pop out of my. Well, it's about the third eye, and supposedly gurus and them do that. That's what and so I was just. Because I even told a couple of my good friends.
If I closed my eyes and I could pop out of my body, I guess it would be scary. Maybe people are saying it's scary, but I'd be like, maybe
the first time
I'd be trying
it?
to figure this out. Look, let me put it like this. So you're telling me it was just maybe scary a little bit, and that's why you stopped praying. Okay.
Well, I just didn't expect. No, I'm not scared. I'm not scared. It just I wasn't expecting that.
So you're telling me if I wrote a note, if I wrote like some kind of note here next to me. And I could leave it somewhere and tell you where I leave it, but not tell you its contents. You could then theoretically astral project, come and read the note and tell me what it says.
Oh, there's people that do that, but Nick, like I said, I've only done it once a long time ago, and because I was getting in and stuff that I shouldn't have.
And I'm not.
Christians will tell you not to do that.
And I'll say the same. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you what to do before. But before the audience, I must say. We want you to develop these. We want you to develop these skills. I'm not telling you what. Maybe I'm not telling you what to do.
No.
Okay, and what spirits to mess with. I mean, I'm a little skeptical myself, but I do. I will say this. I am interested in seeing you develop this. So let me know. Try again.
Wonderfully made. It would be about the spirit that I'm of, and if it's God. If it's the spirit of God, along with mine, because I could use that for nefarious things. I mean, you could take off and do whatever. So, yeah.
Because we want to get a note.
Well, you know the whole thing about
if we can get you to that point where you can read a note that I wrote through the realm. I mean,
yeah. I mean, who knows? When we dream, are we in the spiritual realm? I mean, is that what we're?
I don't know.
Doing?
I don't try not.
How do we know?
I try not to concern myself with things I can't answer like that. It seems like a good way into insanity.
But would I not? But would we not have an answer if you wrote a note and I could read it in my dream state? I mean,
I'll have an answer then. Oh yes, that'll definitely be interesting. That will be fascinating, sir.
So yeah,
so
then,
I try not to
MK...
concern myself with that because it's a path to insanity. I think when you can't answer something.
Sure.
Like
all
where
right.
dreams come
Well, Nick,
from.
I'm going to get back on the road. I thanks for the chit chat. Hopefully, it was interesting.
Yeah,
but
it was.
I promise
hey.
everything I said was the truth, at least in my mind.
Fair enough, sir. Call me again.
All right, man. Take care. God bless.
All right.
Bye.
Yes, sir. 888-775-3773. Trying to be open-minded, but also stressing that I just never heard Bond, Jesse say anything about that. I just want to say that. I ain't never heard about silent prayer to separate one from your body. I'm just telling you what I have not heard, if I may, okay? If I'm to be of any accuracy. William, another William here. How you doing, sir? California.
Hey, I got something here. Here they are right here. Hey, Nick, let me ask you something. Can you hear me?
You're a little muffled with the speaker, I believe.
Okay, let me take. It's not a speaker. It's an earbud. Let me take it out and switch. Okay.
Aye.
Okay.
That's the clasp of the AirPods. I hear it.
Okay, Nick.
Thank you, Will.
Nick. How's that?
Thank you, Will. Yeah, much better.
Yeah, I usually don't do that, but we're in the truck, and I just seeing if I could get away with it. But
I was quick on the trigger, but appreciate it. Go ahead.
Yeah, because I know the rules. I thought I'd try to slip. Okay. The doorbell game. I don't think they called it that. I'm too old. I don't think they called it that back in the day.
No? You never heard Nicky Nine Doors?
No, we didn't call it that.
It's a European thing.
I don't think we had a name for it.
Oh, not even Ding Dong Ditch?
I mean, it was just, this is old lady Hall's house. A lot of times it was done on the way home from school. Say, let's start on Mrs. Hall. And as soon as anybody touched that doorbell, you should have seen how fast the group would be running. And it's like, it's kind of stupid because you're more than likely during that time of day, you're ringing somebody's doorbell that's retired, pretty old.
That's probably true. I shouldn't laugh. That's not funny.
It's not funny in a way because we thought it was at the time, but we didn't really, we were just not old enough to realize these people are older, retired, grandparents, and you're just bothering them for the sake of bothering them. It's not an old game. Excuse me. It's not a new game. It's not a new game. It's not funny at all. And it used to be done a lot. But I don't think we actually had a title for it. But in the case of the little, the 11-year-old in Texas, being that I did live in Texas for a little while, is the very state that you kind of just don't want to fool around with people's property because they'll shoot you.
Yeah.
Reality.
Yeah. You saying Texas? Yeah, that's what's in Texas.
Yeah, it's big time gun state. And my thing is, what time of day was it, and what was this kid doing at 11 years old being unaccompanied like that? Where was his mother or his father?
Yeah, the report said it was group. It was like a group. I think I even read groups. I don't know why they wrote it like that. Maybe
well, it usually is a group. That's how we used to do it. We would only think about doing something like that when there's a bunch of us together. and nobody wanted to get caught doing it, so everybody would jet up the street. So my thing is, why is the kid unattended?
It seems like he may have been.
Well, the neighbors
And it
said
seemed
that
like the neighbors were like, I don't know why this was happening.
they warned them that no, there was a lady down the street that just warned them not to do that because, as you know, these days we got, which we didn't have when I was a kid, they got Ring cameras.
Yeah.
If you don't have one, 5 or 6 people across the street or next door to you do have them. But mostly everybody has Rings because this is kind of a hazard because, as you know, all of the DHL, FedEx, Amazon packages in recent history have been picked up and stolen a lot. So I would think that that's not a smart thing to do these days.
Totally. It's a good cover story, I think, too. Again, I'm not saying either way. I don't know the details, but saying, we were here playing Ding Dong Ditch. I'm telling you, you could be, I've seen pretty young criminals going around doing crazy things. Anyways, I don't know the deets here, but I think, it could have been an overreaction. It seems like it could have been an overreaction to like a defensive situation.
Yeah.
But I think there could be a lot more understanding to that if people were honest about how crazy things are.
Things are right now, correct.
And more for some than others, maybe in neighborhoods, etc. But you understand what I'm saying.
I mean, I can't agree with chasing those kids or any kid down for something like that. Once I realized that, okay, these are kids that just rang my bell and ran. I don't know the details of the story, but from what I understand, he chased them down. There's where it's going to get.
I read.
Yeah, that's where it's going to get sticky.
That's for sure.
Yeah, and did you catch me this morning on Hake?
Oh, I didn't. You had called into the Hake report?
I gave him the numbers of the crime rate in Chicago, and I didn't hear any black callers call into the show and address it. The only thing they do is they get mad at Messenger. So in the month of August, shot and killed in Chicago, 31 dead, wounded 171, total shot 202, and for the month of August, 34 homicides.
Wow.
The week of the holiday week, which was yesterday, the holiday, from August 24th to August the 30th, there were 7 people killed, 19 wounded, and a total of 26 shot and 8 murders in 1 week. And the year to date, so far this year, 2025, into the city of Chicago, which is a blue city in a red state, they have a total of 236 killed, 1,071 wounded, and 1,307 shot, with total of 283 murders. Now, I don't think the Ku Klux Klan is hanging out in Chicago.
So true. But what about? Why are you bringing up a black crime story? Don't you know a white person committed a crime yesterday?
Every day.
That's crazy to hear those numbers, though.
No, but see, the thing is they don't want you talking about them. Instead of them stop taking things so personal, address what the problem is instead of worrying about who gave you the message. These are stats from the police department, and Chicago is 700 officers short. So you don't think they need to bring the National Guard in there?
It really is like the only time I've seen you have a president here. He's like, okay, we hear you folks over there in Chicago. Okay, it's been like all this mess, mayors back and forth. Who cares? We're bringing in the National Guard. Where you would think it's like, people would be like, "Wow, thank you! Finally, someone cares about the blacks." Isn't that?
You got a president. You got a president that doesn't even have to get involved with city and state issues, and is taking the time to say, these are black children. If you care about black children so much and black people so much, here's a president saying we can't have this any longer. You're going to kill these people completely off like they did the Indians. They're dropping like flies.
It's
so
like I've never heard anybody even propose such a solution. It's like, wow, is this the first person to actually care about black people in a large way?
Have you ever heard a president address something like that in that manner? These are black people, black children, black babies being shot in a city that is at war. And so if he's so racist, why does he care about black people that much to bring it up and send the Guardian to clean it up? Is he wrong for doing that? And can you have a black caller call into your show and address who said it?
Fair enough, William.
Is that fair or is that unfair?
No, I love it. It's like they're really revealing themselves to full on just want the crime and want the chaos. They're going mask off with this. I mean, no one has attempted anything like this. They're saying, let me pull the trigger. Let me pull the trigger. We'll fix it. And they're saying no.
Yeah. Well, just like Mays today, she comes bringing up the same old story. White folks burning black people's towns down to the ground. Last time I checked, Black Wall Street was burned by black people. Last time I checked, Watts was burned in 1968 and during the Rodney King riots. Detroit was burned in 1968 by blacks. So why does she keep bringing up the same story that's just not true the way she's presenting it?
Fair enough.
It's called a lie. So can we have some black callers call into the show and address this problem? Because it is a problem if you think about it.
It's like a hostage situation, a terrorism. Because even within the blacks, right? It seems to me. Tell me where I'm wrong.
Yeah, and
that there's like that even within the black community, it's like a hyper. Put it like this: it's like a fraction that is, committing a whole bunch of crimes in America. I forget the number. What someone was trying to argue with Hake, and it was like 38% or something like that of incarcerated individuals are black. So you got this fraction that is, terrorizing and holding America in a hostage situation. Why? Because they can't say these blacks are committing these crimes.
It's only a fraction of the people in this country that only represent a fraction of the population. They're overwhelmingly represented in violent crime. If you care about black people, you would address this stuff instead of talking about who said it.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly.
And she stupidly says, and James didn't address it as usual, gets mesmerized. The idiot said there's more than one mayor in each city, and she doesn't know the difference between a city and a county.
Oh, I'm not familiar with this conversation.
Find out how many mayors are in each city.
One?
She said more than one.
Mayors in each city. Is this a trick question? Isn't there only one mayor?
There's only one mayor. Anybody knows that. She says there's more than one. See, that's what I'm saying. I say, James, you waste your time talking to people that don't know anything. Because aldermen, they represent districts, boroughs, and what do you call them? Wards. Yeah, you got an alderman, but that's not a mayor.
What a mess. It sounds like a oopsie daisy happen. I'm not familiar with the convo, but
no.
Thanks.
She has such a low comprehension for reading and understanding that she's so quick to pull up something that white people do to black people when she's not even looking at the fact that black people are doing more to themselves than anybody in the history of mankind.
Mm-hmm. You can't have a world. You can't have a life. You can't have a neighborhood. Like, you just can't. You can't. There will never be another Black Wall Street until you deal with the crime.
That's right. They don't even have a community. What is a community? They don't have one. Either you black and you live in a decent neighborhood with decent people and you don't have yourself around it, or you live in those areas, and those are not communities. They're war zones.
Bingo. Well said, William. I appreciate your call on this, man.
Take care, Nick, and I'm going to go ahead and endorse you. This is the Anchor Baby Show because
Yes,
I'm
sir.
in the car with somebody else, and I'm
heck yeah.
going to give you some plug.
Well, shout out. Thank you so much, William. Call me
Take
again.
care. All right.
888-775-3773. Yeah, he's like, you get it. You get it. I appreciate your calls. We'll get to all of you. 54 shot, 7 dead over the weekend. Labor Day Monday. I mean, I've been seeing this since I started working for Jesse and paying attention to the news and all that. It's like it's a weekend thing, folks. It's a long weekend. Oh, it's carnage. It's coming. Oh, it's a holiday. You better believe there will be carnage in the streets of America in more places than others. Chicago and all that. That's what they're saying. 54 shot, 7 dead. Brandon Johnson's like, oh, this is racist. This guy's even doing this. It's not getting better, folks. It's going to get worse. And so we're watching, monitoring the situation. And I love Trump, and I appreciate all he's doing there. Wait, where was I going with that? I think I'm trying to segue into hand holding, folks. Somebody want to explain this one to me? Modi and Putin, Dream Team. One member of the Dream Team here. We are seeing him holding hands. Indian Prime Minister or President, I forget. Modi holding hands. Russian President Vladimir Putin. In an important situation. This is a developing situation. This is very important. They are holding hands, and they're laughing. Okay, I'm seeing them laugh. They're like, oh, look at the little guys holding hands, walking around in the tulips, prancing around, holding hands. They're typing away on X, and maybe it's silly to you. You're maybe not familiar with the world, the global culture, like an anchor baby like me. Okay, you're thinking it's strange, it's weird, and that's fair. You're allowed to say that. It is. It's strange in that it is different. It's foreign. It's literally foreign. Hold on here. A British photographer. Now, see, I'm trying to save a link here. Let me just pull it up this way. British photographer. Indian non-romantic hand holding. Okay, you're getting culturally enriched. You're getting culturally enriched. In this very moment, photographer captures why Indian men hold hands with each other. You are being culturally enriched right as of this moment. How does it feel? The minute I saw men holding hands for the first time, I was intrigued so much. The 43-year-old photographer who has worked with many big-name celebrities said. Later, I took a photograph of a father and son by the gateway to India, just chatting, holding hands. It's a non-romantic thing, okay? Bros do it. It's chill. But it's maybe foreign to you. That's fine. But that's a little bit of what's going on here. You want to laugh. You want to be a little quick to laugh. But this is a developing alliance, okay? I'm sure Washington is not looking at this hand-holding and laughing like you, okay? You there on Twitter. Washington is regarding this hand-holding moment a little bit differently. I bet. Now, you're talking to the anchor baby here who has gathered instinctually seen things here and there, but I'm not your expert on this, okay? But I gather that Washington does not regard the hand-holding as so benign as you. This is if the custom is for men to non-romantically hold hands to become closer in India, and the world leaders are doing this, Vladimir Putin being a Russian, extending both metaphorically and physically this hand, hey, this is your cultural custom, and in a moment where it almost looks like he even his hand, once upon releasing each other's grasp, his hand, Putin's hand, is left almost searching for the hand that was once intertwined with his. Look, in this moment, they release the grasp here shortly, and he's like, whatever. It's a lot of characterization to this moment, but I swear everybody does this with these world leader moments. But, they're saying they met in this summit. Some are describing it as an anti-NATO summit. I mean, call it what you want. It's definitely not NATO. I mean, by its very existence, these people coming together is definitely interesting to Washington. Tell me where I'm wrong. It's not NATO. You don't have to call it anti-NATO, but it's not NATO. It's these people, right? BRICS, China, India, Russia. Will they create a new order? Is America waning? I don't know. I'll tell you this. They'll tell you that they'll say this and that about tariffs. Trump is ruining it. Trump is making it amazing. The dollar's going this way. The dollar's going that way. I can't tell you. Maybe I could find a guest. Maybe I could find a guest. Maybe we could find an interesting guest on that, huh? Get some experts. I'll tell you this. How about let me give you an indicator of our economy. And tell me where I'm wrong. I don't think you'll be able to disagree. Now, I may not know about the tariffs, what's coming, a waning America, the rising dragon of China. If you pay attention to some of the stuff I pay attention to, they say Washington wants to pivot to China. I'll let reality kind of history write itself, because I just don't have that kind of knowledge out of my purview to make such a prediction. It does seem true, though. I mean, you can look it up. The articles talk about it. Washington wants to pivot to China. Washington wants to pivot to Asia. So I can't tell you. Indicators of the economy, Nick, tell us. I don't know. Tariffs, the golden age. I don't know. I'll tell you this. Let me give you an indicator. Let me give you an economic indicator. How about this? Unemployment rate amongst Black Americans. Now, the point I'm making is a little bit different. This is the ladies at the Skim. The nice ladies here, they're paying attention to Black unemployment. And there's an interesting thought I had for a moment here. They're saying Black unemployment hits troubling levels. The jobless rate among Black Americans climbed to 7.2, highest since October 2021. Both college-educated and non-college-educated Black workers are feeling it, with Black women hit the hardest. Their unemployment rate is rising from 5.5 to 6.3 in the past year. That's percent. The data also shows racial disparities in the workforce are still very real. Black unemployment rate. And so check this out. Economists consider the rising Black unemployment rate to be an early warning of an economic slowdown. You think? Obviously, right? Unemployment, economic slowdown. But I was thinking a bit further here. And they kind of set it up for me when right here, they're saying, as for why the rate is plummeting, some experts say mass federal layoffs are partly to blame, since nearly 18% of government workers are Black. Others point to the Trump administration's push to dismantle DEI programs, which is likely fueling an antagonistic posture against the Black workforce, according to one expert. And I was thinking about this a little bit. Think about this. If the experts are out here saying there's an antagonistic posture on the Black workforce, so they're seeing less, desirability. Well, if this workforce, if the numbers are going down for Black workers here, consider, right, and they want to say, well, because there's less DEI for them. That darn Trump, right? That darn Trump dismantling DEI, which was propping them up. You're telling me, so you're admitting that it was propping them up. And not only that, the culture, the mentality around the black workforce because of that. People, and I've seen this. You've seen this, some of these, I think it was Walmart, I forget who else, dismantling DEI programs, getting some backlash, but not really. They were getting backlash, but I'm like looking at Twitter or I'm looking online. I'm like, I don't really see the backlash. Yeah, maybe some black intellectuals who are like, we do want DEI. Joy Reid going around, right? I'm fine with being called DEI, but I don't know if I've really seen that much backlash. And so I'm gathering here. This is what I'm gathering here. Your indicator, a true indicator, and an indicator we can agree on the economy. See, there was a time when I was reading about how, for example, now some might find this controversial, but they say that we haven't been back to the moon, right? We haven't been back in a while. 50 plus years, you got to wonder why, right? Some wonder really heavily why. Some are really suspicious why we haven't returned to the moon. And I'm not an expert, but I mean, you gather some things, it means, to me, it seems totally plausible. I mean, it's just very expensive. There's just no reason to. You know, it's very expensive. And you go back to the time when they were building this stuff, right? 69 or whatever, the Apollo missions. I was reading about how at the time there was a mentality of like endless money, where you could fund these kinds of public works. Is that fair to call it a public work, going to the moon? I guess they didn't build a bridge or anything. That's the last. But look, they did this thing. And I think to myself, isn't propping up women, blacks, DEI, people, immigrants, people that shouldn't be in all these facets of American society, you could almost see that as a great public work. Now, you could argue in its greatness, many would, I think. But consider for a moment that this endless money prop that up too, but that's going away. You understand? Like, we almost had fantasy play money to send people to the moon and give blacks jobs who didn't deserve it, who shouldn't be there, and put them in schools and all that, right? And women, etc. But now it's like we can't really fund such an expensive public work. We don't have the endless, lofty money, right? Ideals and money that once was there. You know, I don't know much about economics, but I'll tell you that. I think that's an indicator of, there's your indicator for an economy, huh? I don't know. I don't think you could disagree. Anyways. So, endless money. So much that you could, right, rewrite the rules of reality and move around stuff, take from those who have to give those who don't. Rewriting the rules of just reality of what's right or what's rational. There's plenty of money, more welfare, more programs. Anyways, 888-775-3773. We have some callers here, super chats and all that. I want to get to all of you. Justin SoCal, how you doing, sir, on the air?
Hey, thanks for taking my call, Nick.
Coming in clear. Thanks.
All right. So I just wanted to call in to discuss some new directive regarding the Section 8 housing and legal immigrants that I've heard, a lot of talk about it. So it seems like not many people are familiar, but there's like this new development that many people might not be aware of. The DHS and the HUD are ending taxpayer funding housing for illegal aliens. It's only going to be for Americans, like tax-funded housing for illegal aliens will end.
300. Oops, sorry. Tax-funded housing will end for, you were saying?
Oh, yeah. It's going to be ending for illegal aliens and will only be reserved for the tax-paying Americans.
I see.
What's your thoughts?
Sounds great. I mean, these people, you have this, what can I say? I mean, you have this crazy you have these two things working in concert that are absolutely destructive, an open door, and then a promise of all this stuff, you know? So you that's basically saying, hey, whole world, come here and drown us.
Or go home before ICE comes. Yeah. You either go home before ICE takes you back to your home, or you can wait it out. And the ones that are housing them, whether it's apartments or just a house owner, they're going to be arrested. So, but I think October 31st, they should, if they serve a notice now, if they give them a 30-day notice. But either way, they're not required to.
So help me understand this more. So there are taxpayer-funded houses, obviously. I mean, I gather as much. Tell me more about that.
Yeah. Like an individual could say, I want to rent out some rooms to people, and those people say, well, I can only pay this much. That's why I'm on Section 8. But the government will take care of it. You know, they'll pay the 80%. I'll pay the 20%. Some cases they pay 100% of it. But I'm a housing professional, so I know it's my industry since I was 19, so I know fully well about it. I mean, it should be for, you know, especially the disabled people, or especially the elderly people, the invalids.
That's what this house should be for, you're saying.
The poor white, the poor Asian, the poor, you know, Asian Americans, and every race, every religion, you know, can qualify for it. It's not based on your citizenship. But if you're an illegal alien that's not, or, you know, you're not a legal resident here, you're not allowed to have it. And it's been in the book since 1996. And so DHS is, I think, her name is Nome. I think her name's Mrs. Nome, Christie. And then there's a HUD African American man as well that are running it, and they're coming together because the president wants it and HUD wants it. So now another department called ICC will be enforcing it.
Right on, man. Well, it sounds like a good move. Yeah, make your update on Section 8 housing. So you're basically saying, yeah, it was a whole bunch of immigrants and foreigners and illegals even that were receiving help from the taxpayer through the Section 8, etc.
Siphoning out the Treasury. Yeah, not to cut you off, but
no, thank you. Fascinating. Yeah, I mean, this is more of that scam, a literal subsidy of the world's hungry. Come here, you get a house. But Buddy, you know, who's born here has to, you know, he's been trying to save up the whole time. They keep raising his taxes and all that. I got you, man. Fascinating. It seems like a good move.
And the good move is that by doing that, but the ramification, you know what that's going to be, clearly? The prices of apartments are going to go down. The prices of housing overall is going to go down so that it become more affordable. You're finally going to be able to see a large group of people. Okay, it's called scarcity. You know, so if you have large amounts of vacancies that can't be filled, do you think the prices will continue to go up? Or the landlord will be like, we need to lower the rents. We can't rent at this rate. You see what I'm saying? So it'll become more affordable for everyone. It's going to, because it's artificial to have labor, artificial to have housing-based programs. You know, the labor, you know, that's artificial is one thing. You know, it's a shortage, so that they have to lower the prices for people to be able to get wages that are acceptable. And so that's why in my opinion, the one thing that both parties have never talked about is, besides housing, it's the labor, where they don't actually go to the employer for hiring the people, and now, you know, and not resting them. They're just trying to go after, these are the illegal workers, let's get rid of them. Yeah, so now they're going after the landlords that are benefiting from higher rates. And they're going to have
penalties for the employers, and we're talking sometimes big firms, and they employ a whole bunch, labor, agriculture, etc. You're saying, where's the penalties?
Yeah, well, agriculture, like Newsom's buddy who got arrested for big pot farms hiring illegal children, illegal adults, who you may remember were throwing rocks at ICE recently, trying to get the pot farms cleared out, and there's a lot of that human trafficking that goes on, but they don't go after the employers, and so therefore
they bring in money.
Continue to,
fascinating.
Yeah, so it's too artificial. Now we're going to start to have a correction, and it's only going to get more intense. So they need to leave. If they don't, I mean, they got Alcatraz Island or whatever they call that for a temporary detention to stay and get housed, but then they're going back to their home. Just take the money the government's giving you to self-deport now and go home. This is a call, I would think, a serious call for anyone that doesn't want further ramifications to affect their family, themselves and their families.
It would seem like the smart thing to do, and they're trying to make it easy right now. So,
yeah, they're trying to make it without excuse. They're trying to be making it, hey, we've done everything we could to have given you the heads up, giving you the green light. But if you don't take it,
fair enough.
Then wisdom's proven, correct by her actions, the Bible says. So if these people want to be wise, they need to act now, take advantage of this opportunity, and leave, because ICE will be coming, knocking on their doors with masks, forcefully removing them. And it's a choice. Choices is choices. And if they want to, mess around, they can mess around and find out what happens because of their folly.
Fascinating, man. I hope it works out for the good. It seems like a good step. Justin, man, call me again.
All right. Thank you.
Hi. 888-775-3773. The president already spoke. He's all right. How's he looking? Let's see here. This was some time ago. There's JD. JD. Usha's probably not far behind. He takes her everywhere.
The future, unless you control the skies. The cyber security, the communications, the entire infrastructure.
You would like no, I don't know why I'm going so hostile with JD. Say you would like the cybersecurity stuff, huh? Are you GOP? Are you like the tech world? I don't know. I'm not that familiar, but
structure of the battle in the 21st century will be.
Promise the president. I mean, it's some other guy. Blah 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 blah. Bye. Yep. Space Force. Very cool. Oh, so this was after he spoke. Because, there it is. There's the president.
Very proud of you.
Thank you very much.
Very, very proud of you. That's a big deal.
Well, is he looking?
This is one that everybody wanted.
How's he looking, folks?
Big deal. This is one that everybody wanted to know. What are you doing? I also want to thank Senator Katie Britt, and I want to give my condolences. Her grandmother just passed away. She was 100, right?
100, and she loved you, Mr. President.
Well, and she was very proud of you.
People were a little
very
disturbed.
Proud of you, so.
I wasn't even following the to the minute news. He hasn't appeared this many days. Canceled his appearances. The bruise on his hand. I don't know. I know people were disturbed. I think someone even in the administration was like, I know the vibe is weird right now. Hey, I don't know.
Thank you, Katie.
Wonderful woman.
Seems like looks good to me, I think.
Must have been. To produce you indirectly, I can tell you she had to be. Tommy Tuberville, who's a great coach. And I won't say anything about what happened with Alabama football this weekend.
Let's leave that out.
But you're not used to that, right? You're not used to that. But Tommy,
Hegseth, looking healthy, looking fine, I guess. Right. I don't pay attention like that. Looking like
so
Trump.
Happy.
Looking like
Tommy's been a
Hegseth, on the other hand, though, will not live down the 50 pull-up embarrassment. I don't think he beat RFK's time. I don't know if those were all pull-ups, Hegseth. And by live down the embarrassment, meaning just in the anchor baby's mind. What an ego. Okay, let's see here. Last few minutes of the show. I want to get to Mark, Los Angeles. Appreciate your call. You're on the air.
Yes, sir, Nick. Real quick, I just want to say, getting back to William's call, that there are a lot of black crime victims in Chicago, but you got to realize there's got to be white victims too that are untalked about. Nobody mentions them. Well, nobody shows black victims either. But I got to believe that there's at least some white victims of the Black Plague crime wave in Chicago. And then with the last caller, talking about cutting out Section 8, which is a great thing. President Trump's also, from what I've heard, I don't know if there's any crackpot judges trying to stop it, but I think in the big, beautiful bill, maybe, they cut out Medicaid for the illegals.
Yeah, I remember reading about that too.
That one too, right? Okay. Yeah, so that's a big victory. That's less of a magnet, to bring these people here. Did you hear about the turnaround? I think 14,000 potential invaders turned around at the border and went home to wherever they came from just recently.
And sorry, can you repeat that? I was trying to get the info on the illegals and Medicaid and the big, beautiful bill.
Okay. Recently, I just saw the headline. Something like 14,000 potential invaders, illegals, coming to the southern border just turned around and went home.
No way.
Another caravan.
Like a big old caravan?
They were testing the waters, and they all, it just turned it around and went back to their homelands. So,
Wow.
Trump's got it militarized down there. So there's no way they may get a few crossers, but it's virtually zero since almost Trump's been president. So
that
that's
fast, huh?
Little bit of good news. What's that?
That fast, huh?
Yeah.
Shows what's
Yeah, well,
possible.
they were testing the waters, to see if we can, get through Trump's army. But he's got everybody down. I heard even the Marines were down there.
Yeah, I heard that too.
I'm wondering if this stupid judge that said the guard can't be in L.A., if that'll affect Trump moving in to Chicago. Because they said these injunctions can't be nationwide. And I talked about it on the Hake show earlier, but
that was an earlier Supreme Court thing, right?
Well, it hasn't got to the Supreme Court. That's where we're hoping, and I wish they'd get on this right away to
But
turn
wasn't
around.
there a Supreme Court recently? The Supreme Court did this thing where they said these judges can't do these national injunctions. Oh, I remember now. They simply came up with a different criteria for these judges to be able to do these injunctions, but all that happened, it seems, is that these judges just started following that higher criteria and continue to try and block up Trump where they can.
Well, I know, but the Supreme Court could turn around every one of them, and they should be doing it on almost daily basis. Every time you look at the news every day, a judge is blocking this, deporting the Guatemalans, this clown in Maryland that they can't get rid of, Abrego. I mean, it's the judges that are standing in the way of deportations, not entirely, but in a lot of big ways that the Supreme Court should be reversing. The one that everybody should be worried about, though, is the tariff thing. I mean, Trump's bringing in, I don't know, billions, maybe trillions, potentially on these tariffs. And if the court rules against them, all that's going to destroy our economy. It's a bigger deal even than immigration in the immediate,
Really?
I would say, yeah.
Huh.
Because if those tariffs get shot down by a corrupt court, it's already been shut down by two courts,
Yeah.
but it's going to the Supreme Court and there's a stay on it. So the tariffs continue, thank God.
What would be
and
the
Trump's-
move, though,
Trump-
if they're working and they're bringing in all this money? Why would even like an evil
Well, there
person?
the left is saying that Trump doesn't have the executive power to do the tariffs, that it's a congressional thing. Trump's argument is it's an emergency situation. I believe the Emergency Powers Act, maybe. I'm unclear on the exact name of the law, but he's exerting his executive privilege, and it's going to be challenged on this issue at the Supreme Court level. And if Trump loses, according to President Trump, it's going to affect our economy in a bad way. Even Social Security will be affected, according to the president, and I believe him, because it's bringing in trillions and billions. It's making our economy good. On that front, except for the courts, like on immigration, Trump's got it right. It's the courts that are standing in the way of MAGA. And lastly, I know you got to go. But down in Venezuela, that's how communism came to power, through the court, not through the
Venezuela.
votes. Yeah, they had a conservative guy from Venezuela on Newsmax. He's been on one of the networks I watch, and he said that he lives here in the U.S. now on a student visa, but he's a good guy and he's an anti-communist. He said that the way the commies took over down there were basically through the court.
Wow.
And we could see with Bolsonaro in Brazil, they're trying to throw him in prison. He's a Trumpster. He's a pro-nationalist.
Loved by the people.
Pardon?
Loved by the folks, by the public.
Absolutely. But there's one particular judge that's like a real demonic commie, and he's going hard against this Bolsonaro. Trump's even said that he's going to raise the tariffs if they keep messing with this guy, but I don't know.
Oh, really?
The left doesn't care if the economy falters in any country.
Okay.
So,
fair enough. And why is that?
Because they want everything to collapse
yep.
so they could take over.
I'm following.
You know what I mean? Pardon?
No, I'm following. Yeah, because earlier I was asking, well, why? What's that? Yeah, what's the mentality here? What's the play? I mean, if the tariffs are bringing in all that money, why would they want them to fail like that? And you're saying...
Well, for one thing, they want Trump to fail. At one time, believe it or not, in political history, the left used to be for the tariffs. It was the Reagan Republicans who were so-called free traders. All free trade really means is the jobs go out of the country. It's the right of according to some conservatives, it's the right, for business people to go overseas to make more money at the expense of the American worker. That's where Trump and Reagan differed. Trump never supported, Reagan never supported tariffs, but he was a free trader. But Trump does. So that's in Trump's favor, in my view. I don't see the left are hypocrites, though. They don't want to go with tariffs simply because Trump's for it.
That's it. I welcome this info. Very interesting.
Yeah, it's all researchable. All right, Nick, it was good talking to you, man.
Call me again.
Will do. Bye-bye.
888. Well, now that's it, folks. Is that the show? Has the show came and went already? Amazing. Let's see here. I got some coffees, though. We got to show some love to the coffees. We didn't get to all of them on Friday. I think Eric came in with some more before we finished. And so we appreciate it. Eric, thank you for the coffees. buymeacoffee.com/anchorbaby. We appreciate the generosity here. Eric, I think continuing our convo a little bit. Let's get to Eric here on buymeacoffee.com/anchorbaby. But let me make sure I have we're getting this from the beginning. He says, mothers dominate with a facade of kindness. He writes, hold on, a facade of kindness. Come on, where is it? And victimhood. She protects her ego by making you responsible for her feelings, starving you of the truth until you go blind. When I forgave my mother, I began to see deeply into the unconscious conditioning that was altering my perception of women. This idea that I'm responsible for anyone's feelings started to fall away. Then I could see my tiptoeing was me fearing the hell in them. That's how women control everyone, including their children. Make sure you're doing the silent prayer so you can learn to stay out of your head. Knowing versus thinking. You know what to do. You don't have to think about it. What did I say? Mind. Silent mind. Anger is a thought. It's impossible to be angry if you watch thoughts. You can't let go of anger unless you can watch it float away. Maybe even responding a bit to my caller, Eric, expressing a little bit here. Oh, yeah, and it says, my last coffee was in reference to Jaden's call at the end of the show. He was worrying about becoming worse after forgiving his mother. Hope that helps, Jaden. Thank you for that, Eric. Very nice. Yeah, Jaden, what you were thinking is a setup to blaming somebody else for when it doesn't work. You know, it's like, oh, I forgave, but when you forgive, I see these people's lives get worse. You're setting yourself up to blame Jesse, basically, for when something doesn't go the way you expect. But I heard that you're supposed to forgive. My life's supposed to be this way. And then you tell me that these people who are forgiving around you in your life don't even listen to Jesse. So how do you even know what they're thinking? You see that, just see what you saw, right? Commit to that. Like, okay, I'm holding on to something I shouldn't hold on to. And it's like, what is going to happen next? I don't know. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate your coffees here. I hope that helps too, by the way, Jaden. He's saying he's going to go forgive his mom today. And I think he's pretty young. I think he's either, I don't know, he's between 17 to 21 maybe. I'm going to put it in that ballpark. We wish him well. Very nice. Cool. Okay, that's the coffees, folks. That's the show. I hope you enjoyed it. We got to go. Quick comment on the tariffs. I hope it's... Make it quick, Anthony SoCal. Appreciate you calling.
Dude, Nick, you got my call. Thank you. Can you hear me okay, though?
Hearing you loud and clear, man. Thank you.
Perfect. I just want to say Mark is totally right. I just want to say your audience should look into how our country had any revenue at all before Social Security, before the scam and fraud of income tax, before the IRS. How did we make money? It was tariffs, dude. It was all tariffs. So Mark's right, man. If the courts shoot that down, which I don't think they will, but they could. If they do, man, it's just a bad sign. That's all I got to say. But, yeah.
I heard something similar, Anthony. I'm going to pull on that thread, I think. Appreciate that, man.
My man. My pleasure. Have a good day, guys. Thank you.
Appreciate that, Anthony. All right, folks. That's it from me. That's let me check the super chats really quick. Make sure I don't lose them. Make sure I didn't miss any here. Thank you, Carver, for that. I don't know if I read that one. Nip burnt up all Bill's studio GPUs. # new equipment. Don't say that. I can't handle it. Thank you. Thank you. Rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. And that's everybody. I'm just a bit of an inside joke, maybe, for a few in the chat. Folks, take care. That's the show. For real this time. Goodbye. And see you tomorrow. More American Anchor Baby and the rest of the network. Peace. Bye.
The views, information, thoughts, and opinions expressed during this show are the individual's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of the JLP Network or Bond. Their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. The material and information presented here is for general information purposes only. The JLP Network and Bond name and all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owner, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service.